Good morning to all traders and welcome to another Markets and Waves video where myself, Stavros Tousios, head of investor research at Orbex, analyze the markets. Five actually assets, 4 or 5, it depends on what opportunities they give, using Elliott wave analysis and patterns. Now in today's video, April 16, it's Friday and it's definitely an interesting session because it is Friday. And we're going to see some flows moving around. Are those going to be positive for some certain pairs or are they going to be negative? We're going to find out very shortly. Today, we're going to have a quick look on Euro dollar, pound dollar, Aussie dollar, Dow Jones that we haven't had a look for a while, and also our favorite gold. Starting with the Euro dollar, as you remember, and you should remember, last week we talked about this, or even earlier the week. Yeah, earlier in the week, we talked about this potentially turning into an impulse. But like last week, we talked about the potential of that becoming a reversal, and it happened. Now, in my opinion, we've had waves 1 and 2 done. And we started an internal structure over here, okay? That looks like it can extend up to 121 or so in wave 5. So as you can understand, because we've done waves 1 and 2 in the minute degree, yeah, and 3, and looks like we're going down for 4, wave 5 is going to be quite extended, at least to get there. Now, it's not necessarily that we get there, but since wave 1 is the 100% of wave 1 gets us to 121 for wave 3, that would mean that wave 1 and wave 3 would be equal, and that would give us 0.618 for wave 5. We wouldn't want wave 3 to be smaller than 1. Because when that usually happens, well, it's like, okay, it cannot be the shortest, but you can get the fifth wave be smaller. But usually this happens in like leading diagonals because they have this structure. Anyhow, I will be looking at the 119.20 to invalidate this because we also got a little bit of a worrisome signal here on the MACD on the RSI. Okay, so in case we break below the 119, it means that this is going to lose its impulsive characteristics and it will become either a motive wave or even, go back lower. The case of that moving lower would generate a different opportunity or a different structure where this is wave 1 up here, right? Which means, and it's very possible, which means that is the 3, that is the 4 on a triangle, yeah. And then we would be moving lower down to do a 4 and 2, and from there we should be looking for prices to move up, okay? So this is what this break is going to give me, perhaps, that structure being validated instead. Now, if we break below 2, we can literally get down to 117.84 to invalidate this move. So if it's going to be some sort of A, B, and C over here, right? And that then, we are not going to get any signals any sooner than that, okay? Now, the other scenario will be, as you well know, that this is going to turn into a triple zigzag instead. I think this is enough for euro dollar because we know what we can expect in the short term. Now for pound, I don't see much change. Actually, I was expecting, and last time we talked about it, the correction up here. It looks like it's triangular one because we've got A, B, C, and D, and a E. And it looks like to me that we're breaking slowly down from this triangle. And we're going to do a wave 1 and 2 and 3, 4, and a 5. For wave 5 in the sub-minute degree. And from there, we're going to get minute 2 and continue all the way down for minor wave 3. Now, you might say, well, this is not an impulse. Look at this. And I will tell you a secret. This is wave 1 and wave 2. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, for 3 and then 4. Wave 1 ends here, okay, which is at 138.14, which is exactly where that low is coming as well. Now, even if for those who want to count wave 1 down here, yeah, in some cases, you would have to look, okay, this is an ascending triangle, but you've got the A, B, C, D, and E ending here, yeah, which is above that wave. But in some cases, when we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, it's where 4 ends that matters. So if you get a descending triangle and you get a penetration, it's motive, if that makes sense. But if you get an ascending triangle or a symmetrical triangle, something like that, it's where wave 4 ends that matters, wave E, okay? Just for educational purposes. So I'm looking at a further continuation down and then a move on the upside for a correction and then again a continuation. When I will start changing my view over here, because this could turn out to be also an A, B, and a C, yeah, it would be, well, down the line, to be honest, or even if we start moving higher from here and we'll go up there. If that happened, then there would be a different scenario. It could be a case where you've got ABC, you've got 1, 2, 3, that could be an ABC over here, and then that could be a leading diagonal, a B and a C as well. So it could be a W, X, and Y, and then continuation on the downside. Or in case we break above the previous high over here too, then most likely this is some sort of a W, X, and Y over here, and then we'll be looking at starting a quite correctively looking impulse on the upside over here. So I'm not really sure I'm really favoring that scenario. Now on Aussie, we haven't had a look at Aussie for a while. I went a little bit further back since we ended the quarter as well. And well, as you well know, I was looking at this upside all the way up as a correction. I still do, but due to the structure now, as I had also the look at the quarterly stuff, this might have been a case where this is wave 1 of a C wave, where it's going to end higher up, yeah? Because if we get that as 1, then 2 ended, we're going to get up for 3, 4, and then 5, right? Because all this time I've been looking at this as if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and wave C ended down here, right? And then we moved lower down. But I know this can be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's just that I see this more of a correction rather than an impulse, despite the fact that 5 waves can be drawn. Because it looks like you've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, doesn't it? So, with that said now, I was mainly pushed to change this due to this impulsive move on the upside, the recent one. Because this is also a 5-wave move to the upside, and this is like a correction. And now this is an impulse, which in my opinion is in wave 4, and then we're going to get 5 up to around 0.78, then correction again and all the way up anywhere between 78.75 and 79.60. If we look at Fibonacci extension of waves 1 and 2, the 161 is at 0.78200. And because this is impulsive and it's a multistructural one as well, I think we can get to the 0.161 extension. I wouldn't say easily, but this would be probably the next level to look at after the correction, yeah? And probably that is also an indication here on the RSI and the MACD that gives us that signal, okay? The other scenario would be the original one that, that was a 5 indeed, and we're going to get some sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But before that, because if we look at this as a W, X, and Y, we could easily see this as an ABC as well, which means we're going to get another X, and then we can get lower to get a Z, and then complete wave 2. Okay? But in this scenario, guys, the medium and long term look very, very, very good for Aussie. Now let's quickly go on the Dow that we haven't had a look for a while. The Dow is moving. Do you want to go a little bit further out? Let me go a little further out just to have an idea of what we are looking here and what happened in the past. So if you remember, we had an open triangle over here in wave 4 and moving up in wave 5. That's wave 5 of 3 in cycle 3, which means even in the long term, we're expecting more upside around 37K. then a correction around 33K for 4, and then again another move on the upside in the long term, right? We're talking probably if we get 3, 4, and 5, 3, 4, and 5, 3, and 4, and 5, we're probably talking about maybe a year and a half from now, 2 years. Now, with that said, that is the last wave on the upside, okay? The current structure, because we've got 5 waves over here, and yes, wave 3 is not the shortest, 1 and 2 over here, then we start a new multi-structural move on the upside, it looks like to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Currently, we are heading up for wave 3, the minor wave 3, yeah, which is around the 35K. But now, if we can go a little bit lower anyway, because we looked at the longer term, looking at the internal structure of wave 3, yeah, we could get anywhere between the 34.5 and the 35, because that is the 161 extension of internal waves 1 and 2, okay? Whereas on the downside, when we're correct, if we take the 100 Fibonacci of that move, as well as the 61.8 Fibonacci of minor waves 1 and 2 on the downside, we'll have a very nice cluster. So whenever we start correcting, I would be expecting the 3 prices to go back to around the 33K and then move up for intermediate wave 3. Okay, so I hope that is clear also for the Dow. And last, gold, exactly as we expected. That was the second scenario though, because I was not convinced that this is an ABC. It actually did turn out that it is. I did like the impulsive move on the upside, and that's why I said, okay, perhaps that is going to be then the alternative scenario that had very good probabilities, and now it happened. So that's 3. We're going to get the 4, and then 5, and that 5 is probably going to be 1, and then 2, 3, 4, and 5 to complete minute wave 3, then 4 and 5 again. That is going to be minor wave 1, and then 2, 3, and you know the story, how it goes. Now, can this move be sustained? Guys, I'll be honest, we don't really need to stay. I mean, obviously, if we do, it's going to be amazing, but we don't really need to stay above the previous high of wave 1, the 1758. We could fall lower, but we won't, because this is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. We want perhaps the 5th one, like which is going to be 1 internally and then 2 and 3, 4 and 5. We want that to end above that previous low, previous high. Well, it's going to be a low if we're going to move up and then down, so that we remain bullish, because I see this move as quite bullish. The other scenario, as you well know, and I've been calling for every single video I do, is that this is going to turn into some sort of, correction, and then we're going to move for another leg down to take out, the 1677, but I doubt this is the case. So with that all said, guys, this is going to be for today's session and for this week Markets in Waves video. In case you like those videos, you can subscribe, turn your notifications on so you don't miss the opportunities that we are analyzing here. And if you do indeed like the video, click the like button, it would be appreciated. It doesn't take effort. And leave a comment as well if you have any questions. So until next week, trade safe and have a nice weekend.